back to The Goalpost! Wow! Now in this week's episode for our recap show, we have really exciting games that happened over the weekend, some rather shocking. So let's get straight into it. Alright guys, now if you want to know everything about the latest footballing news, make sure you head on over to our new website, www.whatsip.com. Now, getting straight into it, we have our first match. It is Man City versus Leicester City. Second and third place, they both still remain, but third place, Man City managed to recover from behind to secure a 3-1 victory at Etihad. Now, Kevin De Bruyne struck a post as the hosts started strongly, but it was the Foxes who took the lead midway through the first half. Harvey Barnes slid a superb pass behind Man City's defense, and Jamie Vardy changed clear before clipping cutely over Edison. 8 minutes later, former Leicester winger Riyad Mahrez cut inside from the right and levelled with a deflected strike past goalkeeper Kasper Schmeichel. 2 minutes before halftime, Ike Gundogan converted a penalty after Raheem Sterling had been fouled by Ricardo Pereira. And soon afterwards, De Bruyne superbly teamed up with Gabriel Jesus to secure the win on 69 minutes. Now all I can say is Man City sort of came in as the underdogs as their defense was down, and now that they have beaten Leicester City in this situation, they are only 1 point behind the second place City. Now, will they be able to keep this up and show that even though their defense is down, that they'll be able to come back and win that trophy? Now moving on to the next game, we have Watford versus Man United. Now last week, my co-host and I, Justin, we kind of predicted that this was going to be a very dull 0-0 draw game. In fact, we were very wrong. This was an extremely exciting game, not only because it ended with 2-0, because bottom of the table, 20th place, Watford actually trashed, and I dare say trashed, Man United 2-0. Now, 2 quick-fire second-half goals from Ismaila Sarr and Troy Deeney handed Nigel Pearson his first win as Watford head coach as they beat Manchester United 2-0. Sarr opened the scoring 5 minutes into the second half with his shot slipping through the hands of David De Gea at his near post. The winger was then fouled by Aaron Wan-Bissaka inside the penalty area just 2 minutes and 45 seconds later to allow Deeney to double the lead from the spot for his first goal of the season. Ben Foster denied Man United substitute Paul Pogba and Marcus Rashford late on. The bottom place Watford claimed a first home win of the season. Now, just to throw a little fun fact, after the match, Malaysia, we were actually trending with #OllieOut. So I guess my prediction was right when I said Ollie might be a little off with his hokey pokey this weekend. So, is this the end for Ollie? Wow! Now moving on to the next match against the predecessor and the disciple, Spurs versus Chelsea. Now this ended, of course, with Chelsea winning 2-0. Willian scored both goals as Chelsea bounced back from successive defeats to record a 2-0 win over 10-man Tottenham Hotspurs. Now Brazilian claimed his first after 12 minutes, working a short corner with Mateo Kovacic before guiding a superb local effort into the bottom right corner. Chelsea were awarded a penalty on the stroke of halftime after the video assistant referee ruled that Spurs goalkeeper Paulo Gazzaniga had fouled Marcos Alonso. Willian slotted in from 12 yards to make the score 2-0. And Son Heung-min was sent off on the 62nd minute after the VAR identified violent conduct from the Spurs forward towards Antonio Rudiger. Wow, this is not the first for you this season, Son Heung-min. Now, of course, for me, Chelsea fans, wow, we reign victorious. And just another fun fact, you know, Mourinho actually said that Lampard's Chelsea could not perform against the big 6 teams. So I guess in this case, Spurs, small team lah, huh? And as always, those weren't the only games that were played this weekend, so let's take a look at the other results. Now, Everton versus Arsenal ended with a dull 0-0 draw, whereas Aston Villa versus Southampton ended with Southampton beating them 3-1. Bournemouth and also Burnley ended with Burnley winning 1-0, and Brighton and Sheffield United was playing favour to Sheffield United with a 1-0 win. Now, Newcastle versus Crystal Palace also ended with Newcastle beating them 1-0, and Norwich versus the Wolves ended with Wolves beating them 2-1. Now, of course, if we look at the current table standings, top dog Liverpool is still leading the pack way beyond. Will everyone be able to catch up? And of course, now Man City has still remained in third place, but has of course closened the gap that much more. Now Man United has also dropped after following this weekend's match, and sadly, even though Watford had beaten Man United, they still remain in the relegation zone in 20th position. Now there are loads of exciting matches coming up for this Christmas season on Boxing Day. In fact, a couple of managers actually complained about the schedule, but their complaints means our excitement because there's a lot of matches to watch. So make sure you stay tuned, and of course, well, keep up for our review show and my new show, Off the Pitch. So I'll see you guys there, and wishing you guys from Boxing Asia a very Merry Christmas.